Alright guys, we got a deck profile for you. This is Donnie. Alright, and he's going to show us our 6 samurai deck, so go ahead.
6 samurai deck, pretty much standard staple stuff. You got the triple keys on. You got 3 Kagamusha, tuners, goes for everything. I run 2 Gaigeki. I run 2 hand.
Well, no, why 2 hand?
I use 2 hand because I don't like Eero, and this can pop itself. Face downs just annoy me. Things get in my way, they got to get removed.
Okay.
I also run double Elder, special summon effect, instant Shein once you go asceticism or dojo. I run 2 Grandmaster. I run 2 instead of 1 because he's just a 2100 that I can search out. He helps power up effects, and I like having 2.
Alright.
I also run 2 Valor. I run 1 Anishi and 1 Zanji.
So why Valor?
Valor's still good in my opinion. I've always ran it. It stops effects that could potentially hurt you or flood the field. Maxi isn't really that effective when it's the only decks that are really swarming right now are Mermails, and they're easily sided against or extra decked against with Abyss Dweller. So you still need to stop decks that can pretty much try to hit the field faster than you.
Alright, so that's monsters.
That's monsters.
Scoop them all up.
Scoop. El Scoopo.
Alright, we're going to do spells next.
Yeah, we're gonna do spells. 3 Smoke Signal. Got it back up to 3. Searcher. Thins out the deck. Amazing. Run 3. Asceticism. Another amazing card. You have so many targets that you can just go Beast, Barkion, Shein instantly.
Alright.
Uniteds, because they hold their draw power. They hold Bushido counters. If you get 1 in a gateway in one of my games, as you saw, you can manipulate stupid stuff. I run 2 Dojo. Most people don't like Dojo or only run 1. I love Dojo because if you get it early game, if you don't get Gateway, this is your next best thing to help you out because it'll help you get that Beast Barkion on field first turn.
Alright.
Gateway, broken, self-explanatory, wins games, auto win. Also run the Rhoda and the Trio.
Okay.
I don't mainboard MSTs. I side them because you just need searchers, thinners, and things to hit the field fast for first turn field presence.
Now I do have one question. Most people only run 2 asceticism. Why do you run 3?
Because I have so many targets, I run a Zanji, I run an Anishi, 2 Elders, and 2 Kaigekis.
Okay.
There's targets right there, and you need to put Bushido counters on as fast as possible. You're not always going to open with Gateway because you only got 1. So you need the asceticisms to put Bushido counters on whatever else you did open with.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah, it's pretty much screw you. Screw the rules. I have counters. Speaking of counters, I run 3 of these: the Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Unlimited MST, and you have 2 TTs and 2 mirrors. That's pretty dumb. Along with anything else that might have a destroy effect. If a Zen Mains gets in your way and you don't have that hand, but you have this, tell the Zen Mains to go away.
Alright. So why do you run 3 of those?
I run 3 just because it's a counter negate destroy. It stops so many decks. If you already have a Sam on board and you try to go for something else and they try to warning it or judgment, they paid, you didn't. It's gone away.
Okay.
With warning, judgment, and so many destroy effects out there, 3 is amazing, and it hasn't hurt me yet. I did open with 2 and drew into a 3rd, but they still saved me. So I was glad I had it. I run 1 TT. Only other thing for field removal, since I run Dark Hole, you don't really need field removal I have everything that just spams for presence. Everything will be 25 or under, and if it gets too bad and I get a Gateway, I can just use 2 counters to pump it up to a 3K. But we also have the 1 warning and the 1 judgment. I still run the 1 warning because you got to negate summons, and judgment's just there in case you've already burned Shein's effect and you need to save them.
Okay.
That's it for the main deck.
Seems legit.
It's a 40 card deck. Extra deck, we run the standard extra deck. Shein, Beast, Catastor, he's a level 5, easy to go into. 6s, I only run 2. I run 1 Barkion, because I don't really go to 6 that much. It's usually 5, or I'm overlaying. So 6s, I have the Barkion, I love going to them, but if at times I get a Zanji or an Anishi and a Kagemusha, and something else is in my way, aka if I heavied and they starlighted, I run Orient. This also helps against Thunder Family because they like to use the Violon Prisma trick with Thought Ruler, Crimson Blader. He doesn't like Synchros. He's forever alone with Synchros. But then I also run Black Rose, Field Destruction. It's there as a oh shit button. I run Landois. You run 14 to 16 spells in this deck, and you can usually pin your opponent. And like Mermails don't really hit you heavy spell and trap wise, but monster effect wise, they will obliterate. But if you have him on board with like 1 or 2 stops on field and like 1 or 2 spells in hand, it pretty much stops. If you get it. Mistworm, it's a 9. You can Kageki, Kagemusha, Kizan into a 9, move stuff out of your way. This is a personal tech I prefer because agents and other light type decks that get in your way can honest you, and he doesn't like honest, and he doesn't like BLS either.
So what does he do? You gonna tell us how?
He can only activate his effects while your opponent controls a face-up light monster. His first effect is select one set card your opponent controls and destroy it. His second effect is send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. His third effect is the one I love because you can manipulate it with Gateway, United, and other things to add cards back to your hand. Send all cards in your hand to the graveyard. Look at your opponent's hand, send all light monsters in the hand to the graveyard, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the total attack of the opponent's monsters that were sent to the graveyard. So effectively, you can see your opponent's hand if it's a light deck, say fairies, agents, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. If they don't have the Veiler or the Herald, and you burn their hand for a chunk, he can still swing. His effect does not stop a 3300 from coming at you after doing that effect.
That's pretty stout too.
Yeah. That's the only reason I like him. Plus, he's an answer if a BLS gets on the field and I don't have anything strong enough to get over it. I can potentially go to him, and he's a 33 versus a 3K. That's
and you get the added effects because BLS is light.
Yeah. He can get the added effect as well to send 1, blow up their backfield if they got like Mirror or a Deep Prison set. But that's it for Synchros. For Exceeds, I run 1 Invoker. He's the only rank 3 I run, even though I run 6 level 3s, 6 to 8 level 3s. 2, 2, 2. I run 6. Yeah, 6 level 3s, but he's the only one I run. I don't go to him that often, but when I do, it's usually for power plays because I need to hit the field. I didn't get what I needed, so I need to show field presence with it. I run 1 Blade Armor, 1 Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller Mermails is just there. Excalibur.
And Dark Worlds, can't forget Dark Worlds.
Yeah, Dark Worlds are still there, but I still like him because I can first turn him half the time with Kizan. Excalibur is another option. If there's a 3K or stronger on the field, he gets it out of the way. Or if your opponent has a weak monster and you don't want to take the chance of them having Gores, but you have enough to kill them, go for that and overkill it. Dragon Gores will save if you do enough damage. And then I run 2 Shadow of the Shian just because he's a 6 Samurai monster. He adds counters, and he's a 2500 that you can detach to power up one of your weaker ones, and then Gateway loop that monster right back to your hand if it's a Kizan.
Alright.
That's it for the extra deck.
You want to show the side, or?
Yeah, I'll show the side deck.
Okay.
Side deck, I run double max. There are some decks out there that spam, but a lot of tier 1 decks, Fire Fists. Mermails can do it. If they do it, it's done that turn. Your max usually won't save you, and I don't run Gore, so
Right.
max isn't really that good against Mermails. Or Fire Fists, because Fire Fists do the normal summon combo. Thunder Family, normal summon combo. Evil Swarm, when they come out, they're going to do the normal summon combo with Caster. But max is just out right now. That's why I main Veilers. I don't have Droll and Lockbirds at the moment. Still trying to get those. But for when Spellbook Day of Judgment comes out, I'm deciding these. Great Shogun Shians.
2 Shians.
Just because he stops it to where they can't go multiple spells. They play 1 spell. Even if I go second and they set up their loop, he can still match toe for toe with Juno, Kamikaze, sack a Sam to save himself, and still be on the field to where they only get that 1 spell.
Alright.
And he's real easy to get out. He also, Elder, Asceticism, bam, 2 Sams. Kageki Kagemusha, 2 Sams. Kageki Kizan, 2 Sams. This is my hate for Mermail, Dark Worlds, anything that relies on the grave, because I don't run double-edged swords. I run 1 Anishi, and this says I just don't care. I used to main them, when Sheehan was back at 3, because you could go Sheehan this, and your opponent's done. But I side them now because sometimes it can hurt me because I do use Beast and Barkion relied on a lot. But if it's a deck that could potentially pose a bigger threat by relying off the graveyard, I run to these.
All right.
I also side 2 MSTs just in case there's stuff that gets in my way. Macro does hurt me kinda because I use effects that will revolve from the grave sometimes. I use Beast, Barkion, Inishi. And there are just some cards like stall decks or something like Fire Fist or like that. I'll side these in to start hitting those ones they set. I also run Royal Decree for rogue decks. I don't like Chain Burn, don't like other stuff like that.
All right.
And I only run 5 traps, so this will never, ever hurt me. Because I run 4 counters, 5 counters. Rivalry. Because I only run Warriors. I don't use Gozen because I run multiple elements. I like keeping Sheehan and Beast on the field at the same time. Or, not Sheehan B, I like keeping Sheehan, Keyzon, Grandmaster, and Sheehan Shadow on the field. And that just prevents my opponent from overlaying like several top tier decks. This does not do shit to Fire Fist because they're all Beast Warrior. But it does hurt Merlantians a little because they're Aqua, Sea Serpent, Fish. And I'll side into it. Dino Rabbit, this hurts as well. I haven't mentioned that deck yet because it is a potential threat sometimes if they go first and get on board before you can. But getting that will potentially save you against them because it'll slow down them from going Leviair and all that. Other cards for Dino Rabbit, 2 Mischiefs of the Yokai.
All right, now most people at home won't know what this is, so you want to
Mischief
explain
of the
the
Yokai
effect?
is when it's activated, reduces all monsters on the field level by 2.
Including yours?
Including yours. But when you're doing it on your opponent's turn, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But if your opponent goes into Rabbit, into 2 Sabersauruses, you pop this, and both Sabersauruses become level 2. They don't run Gaichi, and they can't get into that Dolka.
Unless they're weird.
Yeah, unless they're weird. I mean, heaven forbid. Or, like Mermails, I've seen this done, you go Diva, Diva, Heavy Infantry, Diva, Heavy Infantry. You do this, they're all level 1s, and I'm pretty sure they don't run Formula.
Or, what's his name? Slacker Magician.
Yeah. Another thing this card does is, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to target one face-up monster on the field and reduce its level by 1, but you cannot activate that effect the same turn this card is sent to the grave.
Oh, so it has double effects.
Yes.
Okay.
So, when it's set, you pop it, everything loses 2 levels on the field.
Okay.
Slows your opponent down. Your opponent tries to make a comeback later, let's say Tour Guide play to try to go for that rabbit again. Their Tour Guide becomes level 2, and their target they searched is a level 3.
All right. You got anything else to say?
And
Or?
that's it. I love the Sams, been playing them, and I still think the Sheehan Smoke Signal was great. They're coming back to 3.
All right. All right, guys. Well, that's his deck profile. Remember to comment, rate, subscribe.